That's what I heard. Brides on the wedding day get nervous.
I'm as cool as a cucumber on ice.
Wow. Of course. If I were marrying someone as handsome as Charles, I'd be happy too.
He's alright, I guess.
Alright. He's an Adonis.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Well, I think he's handsome. He's kind, wonderful, and it doesn't hurt that he's got a great career.
You marry him then.
What's the matter?
Can I tell you a secret? I'm not gonna marry Charles.
What? Who are you marrying then?
No one.
I think all the guests at the wedding are going to be very surprised.
They'll get over it. Life's better with 50 surprises. That's the problem with most weddings anyways. There's no drama. It's a done deal. Will you take this man? Will you take this woman? Everyone always says I do. What a snooze. This will give people something to talk about.
You're going to say no?
I'm not cruel. I'm just not going.
How can you not go to your own wedding? Your name is on the program. There are 300 people coming.
Yes, I know. It'll be very exciting. So happy my wedding was going to be well attended. You'll have to tell me all about it.
Mother's going to have a heart attack. Again. And what about Charles? He's mad about you.
Not about himself. Besides, isn't that wonderful? It smells like cabbage.
He's Irish. They all smell like that.
Look, I'm fine about the wedding. It's the marriage I'm not keen on. Can you imagine me getting manacled? What am I supposed to do? Have a baby and get boring?
Yes.
Well, I'm not doing it. I have an entire life to live, and that does not include becoming Mrs. Boiled Cabbage and raising 50 red-haired babies.
Where did you get 50 babies? I thought you were only having one.
Once you start, they just keep coming.
Maybe you should have thought of this before you said yes to him.
Well, I changed my mind.
When?
30 seconds after I said yes.
Why didn't you take it back?
He's dancing around and everything. I don't want to hurt his feelings. And just, you know, what was I supposed to say? Oh, whoops, I thought you meant if I wanted to marinate the chicken. I would problem my ears, that's all.
This is ridiculous.
Marriage is a prison. Do you know any happily married women?
Mother,
Oh, besides, she's tortured.
she sings almost every day.
To mask the terrible disappointment she feels. Think about it. Once you're married, that's it. No one buys you flowers. No one takes you to dances. And if a man wants to kiss you, you have to ask your husband for permission. No, sir, not for me.
You cannot just go around kissing people.
Well, too late, because that's what I've been doing. And let me tell you something. There are a number of good kissers out there, and I haven't found them all yet.
You have to go, Evelyn.
I'm so glad you see my point. I've already bought a train ticket.
To where?
New York City.
You can't go there by yourself.
What do you think? They've got wolves through the border or something? New York is the bee's knees.
What are you going to tell Charles? You're writing him a letter.
Oh no. And this is where I need your help.
I'm not telling him for you.
I don't need you to tell him.
He'll be crushed, you know.
I'm not a bad person. I don't want to hurt him. That's why I'm doing what any sensible girl would do in this situation. Fake my own death.
What?
It's the perfect way out. This way, his feelings aren't hurt. He gets plenty of sympathy from the other guests. And they can still use all the catering for a week.
You're not serious.
I am. It can be that difficult. People do it all the time.
What people?
You don't know because you think they're dead. But look in the obituaries.
Why don't you just tell him that you don't want to marry him?
It's our wedding day. It's a little late for that. Now, the way I see it, there are a couple good ways of going about this. I've been working on a nice suicide net.
Wait a minute. You don't think that his fiance's suicide on their wedding day won't hurt his feelings?
You haven't seen the note. It explains it all. I plan to have another husband in France.
What?
His account. We were married at 18. I fled to America to be away from him because he's a monster. So I obviously can't marry Charles because I'm already married. See? It's not his fault I'm killing myself.
The story has more holes than Swiss cheese.
It checks out. We were in France 2 years ago on vacation. I could have slipped out for an hour or two. We met a count, gotten secretly married while everyone else was asleep. You just have to say that I mentioned it at the time.
And I didn't say anything?
You were keeping my secrets like a good sister.
Evelyn!
Come on. This is what sisters do. We stand up for each other. We also help each other save suicides. I'm so glad you asked. So, you say, I jumped off a cliff and my body was washed up to sea.
You wrote a suicide note, then you walked to the cliff, jumped in the sea, and I watched the entire time?
I imagine you ran to stop me once you discovered my heartbreaking letter.
I'm not doing this.
You have to work up a good cry for this.
I'm not an actress.
I tried to stop her. She was so beautiful when she did it. She find her. Good thing we have all this food for her list.
That's what you want me to say?
What?
You want me to go in front of 100 people, break down in sobs, and then lie about how your body was washed out to sea?
Yes. I know. Please, Ginny. We're sisters. We do things for each other. I love you, please.
Stop it.
Please, I would do this for you. We can tell Mother and Father later. They'll be so excited. Just imagine the scene. Evelyn's alive. She's alive. We're jumping down. Mother is crying tears of joy. Father, thank God for this happiness. You don't want to deny that, do you? One little bit, Ginny. That's all it is. Evelyn's gone. She's dead. The wedding's off. Let's try the cake. That's it.
Fine.
You'll do it?
I said fine, didn't I?
You're absolutely
Fine, I'll help you fake your own death to get out of the wedding.
Yes! Make it beautiful. I want to have a glorious death.
I'll make certain of it.
Okay, we have to practice these things a few times, otherwise no one will believe you.
No one's gonna believe me anyways.
It's romantic. It's perfect for a wedding. Tell you what, if you like, you can marry Charles after.
I'm 16, and he doesn't fancy me. Please.
He'll be so distraught for my death, he's likely to go after anything in a dress.
That makes me feel tremendous. Thank you. Right, let me read this nonsense.
I spent a lot of time on that suicide note, so I'd appreciate it if you took my death seriously.
Dear world and my beloved Charles, how can you call him beloved when you're leaning at the altar?
I don't want him to feel badly about me. Besides, I can't just launch into the letter. You have to introduce it. Tell the story of my tragic death.
Must I?
Yes.
Fine.
Cry first. Okay. Very good. But can you get more of a choking sob in there? Like you can't breathe because the grief is so immense. All right. Get on with it. People are beginning to wonder.
My dear friends, my sister Evelyn can't be here today because she tumbled from a cliff to her doom.
Ooh, I like that. Doom, tumbled. It's evocative. Puts a nice picture in their minds.
I saw her fall. She had dressed herself in a burlap sack. Or her hair. She must have rubbed cow manure in it. I've never seen it like that.
Actually, I'd like you to mention how pretty I looked if possible. It sounded that way. I don't want people thinking I was crazy. Not really the image I had in my mind.
A crazed look in her eye, as if she was fearful and saying, I thought she might hit the water, but she hit the cliffside instead, which sent her cartwheeling into the abyss, spraying blood. I still kept fighting her, but at that moment, a sharp clip from the turning way below and snapped her in half. She was still screaming at this point, mostly about how she had lost her legs and was very, very sorry for putting you nice people out and missing the wedding. So, she's dead. Good riddance, I say.
If I could offer some commentary on that.
I'm grieving. She was a dear sister and had gotten plump recently, so I'm sure she provided that predator with a nice meal. She always loved nature. She left a note. I will read it. Dear friends and family, and especially Charles. I'll add that she spelled the word especially wrong.
I did not.
By now you've learned my tragic and beautiful death. I am terribly sorry I cannot be present to explain the reason for my suicide, but this must suffice. First, dear Charles, I'm not who you believed I was. I was married already to a French peasant named Guido.
I believe it says count.
I'm altering it for believability. Guido and I met in a public restroom in Paris. He was a humble plumber, but his rough hands were magic, and we fell in love in several minutes. I was attracted to him despite his awful smell and missing teeth. I knew that my parents would not approve as he was 50 years my senior in one foot. So I kept our love a secret, and even though he couldn't talk and could only communicate in grunts and whistles, it was the happiest few hours of my life.
Would you stop?
Goodbye, cruel world, where the love between a hunchbacked, illiterate, grunting French peasant and a clever American girl cannot be celebrated. I shall remember you all fondly. I leave all my clothes and worldly possessions to my younger sister, Virginia, who has always been a light for me in difficult times. And then she's made a series of obscene drawings, which I cannot show you.
You are ruining my death.
You're not dead.
Read it the right way.
Too bad. You can't say anything about it. Maybe you should come to your wedding and read your suicide note yourself.
Maybe I will. Very clever, Ginny. Very clever. But I'm not matched up to my wedding to display my suicide. That is not going to happen.
That's your choice. After I read the note, though, Charles is going to be breathing a big sigh of relief. Dodged a bullet, as they say. It's a very revealing letter. Keeps the terrible secrets you were hiding.
It will never work.
Fine, fine. So, you're still going?
100%. But first, let's plan my funeral. I'm hoping for a big crowd.